Have you ever wondered why your legs feel weaker, stiffer, or more tired than they used to, especially after meals like breakfast or lunch? Maybe you chalk it up to aging or think you just need to rest more. But what if I told you the real reason might be sitting right there on your plate, disguised as something familiar, comforting, and completely ordinary? Yes, I'm talking about white bread, the same soft slices we've eaten for decades. It turns out that this seemingly harmless food could be quietly draining your strength and damaging your legs after 65. As we get older, our bodies change. Our muscles become more sensitive to what we eat. Our blood sugar becomes harder to control, and our nerves and joints require more care than ever before. White bread made from refined flour and stripped of nutrients may be making things worse without you even realizing it. It digests quickly, causes sugar spikes, and provides almost no nourishment to your muscles or nerves. Over time, eating white bread regularly can lead to muscle loss, reduced balance, joint pain, and even nerve weakness, especially in the legs. In this video, we'll uncover the 6 hidden ways white bread may be destroying your leg strength, and more importantly, what you can do about it. You'll learn how this one food affects your muscles, blood sugar, nerves, and daily energy, and how a few simple changes can help you regain strength, walk more comfortably, and stay independent longer. So if you've been feeling like your legs just aren't what they used to be, this could be the missing piece of the puzzle. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1. White bread turns into sugar. Too quickly in older bodies. Every morning, 69-year-old Margaret would toast 2 slices of white bread, spread a bit of jam, and sit by the window with her tea. It had been her routine for decades, simple, comforting, and familiar. But over the past year, she started noticing something strange. Her legs began to feel shaky halfway through her morning walk. Her knees felt like they couldn't support her as well, and she was tripping more often. Her doctor ran some tests and ruled out major issues. But a nutritionist took one look at her breakfast and gently said, "You're starting your day with a sugar spike that your legs can't recover from." White bread is made from refined flour that's been stripped of fiber, vitamins, and minerals. When you eat it, your body digests it almost instantly, converting it into glucose, sugar in your bloodstream. For younger people, this glucose spike might not cause much harm, but for older adults, it's a different story. As we age, our insulin sensitivity naturally declines. That means your body isn't as good at moving that sugar out of your blood and into your cells. So what happens? Sugar lingers in your bloodstream longer, damaging small blood vessels, including those in your muscles and nerves. Over time, this can lead to a loss of muscle strength, reduced nerve communication, and poor circulation, all of which affect your legs first. High blood sugar levels are directly linked to sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle tissue, particularly in the lower body. This is why older adults who consume a lot of refined carbohydrates, like white bread, pastries, or white rice, often find their legs growing weaker, their steps becoming slower, and their endurance shrinking. But the danger isn't just in the sugar spike itself. The rapid rise in blood sugar is usually followed by a crash, leaving you feeling tired, shaky, or mentally foggy. And when your energy crashes, your physical activity usually crashes too. Less movement means weaker muscles. It's a vicious cycle that starts with something as small as a slice of bread. So what can you do? Start by switching to whole grain bread that contains more fiber, which slows down the release of sugar into your bloodstream. Pair your bread with a source of protein or healthy fat, like eggs, nut butter, or avocado, to further stabilize your blood sugar. Even better, consider cutting back on bread altogether and replacing it with fiber-rich, nutrient-dense options like steel-cut oats, quinoa, or a veggie omelet. These choices give your body the fuel it needs without the sugar roller coaster. Margaret eventually changed her breakfast to a bowl of oats with berries and a handful of almonds. Within a few weeks, she noticed she could walk farther without her legs giving out. She told her walking group, "I thought I was just getting old, but it was my breakfast dragging me down." Are you starting your day with food that feeds your muscles, or weakens them. If your legs have been feeling heavier or more tired lately, take a closer look at what's really on your plate. Let's keep going, because in the next section, we'll talk about how white bread interferes with your body's ability to rebuild and recover muscle after activity. This might explain why even light walks leave you feeling wiped out. Number 2, refined carbs block muscle recovery. After activity, 71-year-old Robert had always enjoyed his morning walks around the block. Even after retiring, he made a habit of walking for at least 30 minutes every day. But something began to change last year. He found himself needing to sit down and rest more often, even after short strolls. His legs felt sore, and the recovery time between walks seemed to stretch longer and longer. Frustrated, he asked his doctor what was happening. Blood work came back normal. His joints weren't the problem. Eventually, during a visit with a dietitian, the real issue surfaced. Robert was fueling his recovery with the wrong foods, primarily refined carbs like white bread, bagels, and muffins. After any physical activity, whether it's a walk, light gardening, or simply climbing the stairs, your muscles go through a natural recovery process. They experience small tears that need to be repaired, and this repair process is what makes muscles stronger over time. But that healing can't happen properly without the right nutrients, especially protein and essential amino acids. Refined carbohydrates, like white bread, offer a quick burst of energy but lack the necessary building blocks for muscle repair. In fact, when eaten alone, they can make things worse by spiking insulin levels, encouraging fat storage instead of muscle growth, and leaving the muscles undernourished. This problem becomes even more serious with age. Seniors already experience slower muscle regeneration, so nutrition becomes even more critical. When meals are dominated by foods like white bread, your body misses the window of opportunity to rebuild strength after activity. The result? Muscles begin to shrink, soreness lingers, and mobility suffers. Robert's post-walk snack used to be a piece of toast with jelly. Easy, familiar, but not helpful. Once he switched to a small protein smoothie with Greek yogurt, chia seeds, and a handful of blueberries, he began to notice real improvement. "It's like my legs bounce back faster now," he said, smiling. "I didn't realize food mattered so much." If you're noticing that you don't recover from activity the way you used to, don't rush to blame age alone. Ask yourself, what are you giving your body to help it rebuild? White bread and sugary spreads may be easy, but they don't give your muscles the tools they need to stay strong. Instead, consider meals that combine lean protein, complex carbs, and healthy fats, like eggs with whole grain toast and avocado, or a tuna salad with beans and leafy greens. And remember, you don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Small shifts, like replacing white bread with protein-rich alternatives, can make a big difference over time. Start with one meal, listen to your body, and notice how your energy and recovery improve. Are your meals helping your muscles heal or slowing them down? The answer might be right there on your plate. In the next section, we'll look at another silent culprit hiding in white bread, its total lack of fiber, and how that's quietly triggering inflammation that makes your legs ache and swell. Let's keep going. Number 3, lack of fiber in white bread increases inflammation. When 66-year-old Eleanor began waking up with stiff knees and ankles, she assumed it was just arthritis settling in. Some mornings, her legs ached so much that she had to sit on the edge of the bed for 5 full minutes before she could even stand up. She took over-the-counter pain relievers and tried light stretching, but nothing seemed to help. It wasn't until her daughter suggested she speak with a nutritionist that something unexpected came to light. Eleanor's breakfast and lunch often revolved around white bread. Toast in the morning, sandwiches for lunch, and occasionally dinner rolls at night. What seemed like a harmless, lifelong habit was quietly feeding chronic inflammation in her body. White bread is made from highly processed white flour that's had the bran and germ removed, the parts that contain fiber and essential nutrients. Without fiber, the digestive process becomes less efficient, blood sugar levels swing more dramatically, and something deeper begins to stir. Inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation is a silent threat in older adults. It doesn't always scream in the form of fever or illness. Instead, it shows up subtly, like joint stiffness, swelling, fatigue, and aching legs. Inflammation makes muscles less flexible and can worsen existing pain, especially in the lower body where mobility is already a challenge after age 65. Fiber plays a crucial role in controlling inflammation. It feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which in turn produce compounds that calm the immune system and reduce inflammation throughout the body. Without fiber, this process is disrupted. Inflammatory signals go unchecked, and your muscles and joints begin to suffer the consequences. And here's the catch. Most older adults already consume too little fiber as it is. When white bread becomes a staple, it only worsens the gap. Eleanor's nutritionist encouraged her to switch to a diet with more whole grains, vegetables, and legumes. She started her mornings with steel-cut oats topped with walnuts and berries, and replaced her white bread sandwiches with hearty lentil soup and a slice of whole grain toast. After a few weeks, she reported something surprising. Not only had her joint pain eased, but her energy was better too. "I didn't expect food to make such a difference," she said. "I thought my knees were just getting old." If you've been living with low-level pain, soreness, or stiffness in your legs, it's worth asking, is your food part of the problem or part of the solution? Every bite you take either fights inflammation or fuels it. White bread, unfortunately, falls into the second category. But the good news is that you have options. Whole grains like oats, quinoa, barley, and sprouted grain breads are packed with fiber and nutrients that soothe inflammation and support muscle health. So the next time you reach for a slice of bread, think about what you're choosing: comfort or strength, habit or healing. In the next section, we'll uncover how white bread doesn't just affect your muscles. It can actually interfere with your nervous system. And that might explain why your legs sometimes feel numb, tingly, or unsteady. Let's take a closer look. Number 4. White bread doesn't support nerve health in legs. James, a 74-year-old retired carpenter, began to notice something unsettling. Every few days, his feet would tingle slightly when he walked. Then it became more frequent, like pins and needles traveling up his calves. Sometimes when he got out of bed, he felt unsure of his footing, as if his legs didn't quite listen to his brain. He started to fear he was developing neuropathy, or worse, that he was headed toward losing his balance permanently. When he visited a neurologist, his tests were borderline, not quite diabetic, not quite damaged, but the specialist asked him a simple question: "How are you feeding your nerves?" It caught James off guard. He'd never thought about that before. Your nerves, especially those in your legs and feet, require proper nourishment to function well. These tiny pathways carry electrical signals between your brain and muscles, controlling everything from balance to reflexes to simple movement. And like every other part of the body, nerves depend on specific nutrients to stay healthy, particularly B vitamins like B1, thiamine, B6, and B12. Unfortunately, white bread is practically empty of these nutrients because the refining process strips away the bran and germ, where most of the vitamins live. What's left is a starch that digests quickly but leaves your nervous system running on empty. As we age, our ability to absorb B vitamins also decreases, especially if we take certain medications or have digestive issues. That makes the need for B-rich foods even more important. Without enough of these nutrients, the protective sheath around nerves, called myelin, begins to break down. The result? Slower nerve conduction, weaker signals, and sensations like numbness, tingling, burning, or a lack of coordination. This condition often starts in the feet and legs and can progress if the root cause isn't addressed. James's typical breakfast used to be 2 slices of white toast with margarine. His lunches were often sandwiches on soft white rolls. But after learning how important nutrition was to nerve function, he made small but powerful changes. He swapped white bread for sprouted whole grain versions and started including foods rich in B vitamins like eggs, leafy greens, and legumes. Within a few months, the tingling subsided, and he reported feeling more stable on his feet. "I thought I needed new shoes," he joked, "but really I just needed new fuel." If your legs feel disconnected, weak, or unsteady, it may not be your age. It might be what's missing from your diet. Are you giving your nerves the nourishment they need, or are you feeding them empty calories that rob your strength over time? Remember, stability doesn't just come from strong muscles. It depends on healthy nerves that can talk to your body clearly and quickly. In the next part, we'll dive into how white bread doesn't just leave out what your body needs. It actively promotes muscle loss when eaten daily. You might be surprised how much strength you're losing without even realizing it. Let's keep going. Number 5. Daily white bread habits lead to muscle shrinking. Over time, Frank, a 76-year-old former postman, always prided himself on staying active. For decades, he walked several miles a day delivering mail, and even after retirement, he made it a point to walk around the park each morning. But in the past year, he noticed something changing. His pace slowed, stairs became harder, and his legs didn't feel as firm or responsive. "I used to be able to carry 2 grocery bags without thinking about it," he admitted. "Now I get winded just walking up the driveway." He thought it was just normal aging, until a dietitian helped him connect the dots. It wasn't just time wearing him down, it was his daily habit of eating white bread that had slowly chipped away at his muscle mass. Muscle loss after 60, known as sarcopenia, is a common and natural part of aging. But what many people don't realize is that your daily food choices either slow it down or speed it up. Muscles need constant nourishment to maintain their size and strength, especially as we get older. They require high-quality protein, vitamins, and minerals to rebuild and preserve tissue. But white bread provides none of these. Instead, it fills you up quickly, spikes your blood sugar, and offers little to no support for muscle maintenance. Even worse, when you rely on white bread as a meal staple, at breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it often replaces more nourishing options. Instead of eggs or legumes, people eat toast. Instead of whole grains, they choose soft sandwich rolls. Over time, this leads to a diet that's high in calories but low in essential nutrients. Without enough building blocks, your muscles begin to shrink, your legs lose power, and your stamina fades. And unlike dramatic health events, this kind of decline happens quietly, slowly, until one day you realize you can't do things you used to take for granted. Frank's routine included white toast every morning and soft white rolls with his lunch. After learning more about sarcopenia, he made a few changes. He replaced white bread with a slice of whole grain, sprouted toast, and added a boiled egg and some sautéed spinach to his breakfast. Lunch shifted from deli sandwiches to grilled chicken wraps on whole wheat tortillas with avocado and tomato. Within 2 months, he told his wife, "I feel like my legs have life in them again." His walks got longer and his posture improved. If you've noticed your legs getting smaller or your energy fading, don't just blame time. Look at your plate. Are you feeding your muscles what they need to stay alive, or are you giving them empty starches that do nothing but fill your stomach? In the next section, we'll look at how white bread doesn't just affect your muscles, it can create dramatic swings in energy throughout the day. These crashes don't just leave you tired, they keep you from moving at all. Let's continue. Number 6, white bread creates energy highs and crashes that reduce movement. Dorothy, age 73, was puzzled. Most afternoons around 2 p.m., she would feel a sudden wave of exhaustion. Her legs felt heavy, her eyelids drooped, and she just wanted to lie down. This wasn't like her. She used to enjoy light gardening or walking to her neighbor's house after lunch. But lately, even standing up to wash the dishes felt like too much. When her daughter asked what she usually ate for lunch, Dorothy shrugged and said, "Just a ham sandwich on white bread. It's quick." That's when the light bulb went off. White bread may be soft, convenient, and comforting, but it behaves like sugar in the body. It digests quickly, leading to a fast rise in blood glucose. At first, you may feel a burst of energy, like your engine just got a splash of gas. But within an hour or two, your insulin kicks in and pulls that sugar out of the bloodstream, often too effectively, causing a rapid drop in energy. This crash leaves you feeling drained, foggy, and too tired to move. For seniors who already face age-related fatigue and slower metabolism, these energy swings can be particularly harsh. And when movement decreases, even for just a few hours a day, it accelerates muscle weakening and reduces overall vitality. Movement is one of the best ways to preserve leg strength and independence after 65. But if your meals are making you feel too tired to move, you fall into a dangerous trap. Less movement leads to more stiffness. Stiffness leads to discomfort. Discomfort leads to avoidance. Before you know it, you're sitting more than you're standing, and your legs gradually lose the strength they once had. Dorothy's crash wasn't about age, it was about what she was eating. When she swapped her white bread sandwich for a whole grain wrap filled with grilled turkey, spinach, and hummus, and added a few slices of apple on the side, her afternoons changed. "I actually wanted to take a walk again," she said. "I felt like myself." If you notice patterns of afternoon fatigue or loss of motivation to move, take a closer look at your midday meals. Are they giving you real fuel or just quick-burning carbs that fizzle out? Try including more slow-digesting carbs with fiber, lean protein, and a bit of healthy fat. Foods like quinoa, whole grain bread, beans, or eggs can provide steady energy that keeps you moving instead of slowing you down. Ask yourself this: is your lunch giving your legs the power to keep going? Or is it putting them to sleep? Now that we've explored how white bread may be harming your legs in 6 different ways, it's time to wrap everything together. In the final section, we'll look at how these small choices shape your long-term strength, independence, and overall well-being, and what you can do starting today to reverse the damage. So now you know, something as ordinary as white bread could be quietly stealing your strength day after day. From spiking your blood sugar, increasing inflammation, and starving your muscles of key nutrients, to weakening your nerves and draining your energy, white bread affects much more than just your waistline. For seniors over 65, these effects often show up in the legs first, making it harder to walk, balance, or enjoy simple daily activities. The good news is, it's never too late to make a change. By choosing whole grains, increasing fiber, adding more protein, and avoiding refined carbs, you can protect your muscles, feed your nerves, and restore steady energy that supports your independence. Remember, your legs aren't weak because you're getting older. They're responding to what you're feeding them. You have the power to change that. Every bite is a choice: comfort or strength, convenience or resilience. Start with one small swap. Trade white bread for a whole grain option, then add one more change the next week. These small steps build momentum, and that momentum builds muscle, confidence, and health. If today's video opened your eyes to something you hadn't thought about before, that's a powerful first step. Awareness is how change begins. So take a moment to look at your plate. Ask yourself, is this helping me stay strong or holding me back? Thank you so much for watching and for caring about your health. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you love. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more uplifting and practical advice on staying strong, mobile, and independent as you age. You deserve to feel your best, starting with your next meal.